Hey everyone, Matt Carbajal here. So the title of my capstone project is The High School Athletic Director's Responsibilities and Identifying Effective Coping Mechanisms. Alright, so slide 2, introductory statements. Stress management is a critical topic for sport organizations given the increasing management pressures stemming from economics, external media, parental pressures, and athletic scrutiny by many different groups. That's by Judge and Judge from 2009, the first bullet. On the second bullet, in any workplace, stressful environments promote turnover, burnout, ineffectiveness, and health issues. In comparison, proper management of stress at work equates to quality of living and productivity. Burton, amongst others, in 2006. And then lastly, my purpose statement. The purpose of this study was to explore the high school athletic director's responsibilities. An additional purpose is to identify coping mechanisms to give the administrator greater chance to thrive. The central research questions the study examined were as follow. What are the responsibilities of the high school athletic director? What are the athletic director's perception of burnout? What coping mechanisms does the athletic director use to manage burnout? All right, and then go into the third slide, our faith integration section, values, faith, and beliefs integration. So glorifying God through athletics. This was something that I thought about for quite a while. I got my undergrad studies at a Bible college in Philadelphia in biblical studies. And for the longest time, I wanted to teach Bible and theology, like at the higher ed level, maybe at a seminary or a college. And after being led on now I'm currently an elementary athletic director and PE teacher. My first year, I still wanted to be a Bible teacher, but after falling in love with athletics and administration, I kind of took a turn, and I was like, you know what, I kind of want to just cling to this, cling to athletics and pursue this. That's why I'm one of the reasons why I'm at APU right now. But I pondered the question of, if I'm going to do this, I want to honor the Lord. And so how can I glorify God through athletics? And so my second bullet, University of Virginia's Tony Bennett. Bennett is the boys basketball coach, and Virginia is my favorite college basketball team. And he is a Christian. He's done many interviews where he talks about Jesus and the scriptures. And so I shot him an email. I think it might have been 2 summers ago now. It wasn't this last summer, so it must have been 2015. And I wasn't sure if I'd hear back from him, but I shot him an email and I asked him, I was like, hey, coach, I told him a little bit about me, and I wanted to ask him, how do you glorify God through basketball, or broadly speaking, through athletics? And he gave me those 5 pillars right there: passion, humility, servanthood, thankfulness, and unity. And those are all, they're not necessarily or just explicitly Christian principles, but they are biblical and they can be implemented in the public school setting, at any level: elementary, high school, collegiate, whatever it may be. And those are things that I use now to integrate. I've integrated in my capstone. I've integrated now in my workplace as an athletic director, as a PE teacher. And the great thing is, although I'm in a Christian school working right now, I can obviously integrate those things into a public school setting. Okay, so the fourth slide is my first article that I did research on. It's entitled "How to Measure Coach Burnout: An Evaluation of 3 Burnout Measures" by Gustafsson, Hassman, and Lundqvist, 2014. So the purpose statement, the first bullet up there, the purpose: identify coaches' burnout and compare using 3 measuring tools. So for procedure, participants, and the method, there were 277 participants, 236 were male, and 39 were female, and the coaches ranged from 20 to 82 years old. Results: the MBI, which is the Maslow Burnout Inventory. That's something that I'll use a lot in this presentation and in my research paper. I'll try to refer to it as just the MBI, but it's the Maslow Burnout Inventory. Some of the results again: emotional exhaustion, depersonalization, and lack of personal accomplishment. Depersonalization, that third bullet down, is something that will be also discussed, and that I found in I believe all three of my articles. Um, it's just something where it's almost like someone feels less human, or as if their thoughts or feelings are not real. It's something that will happen during burnout. And then application to study. This was my first article that I did research on, and it gave me a more professional understanding of burnout. And although it wasn't geared towards the athletic administrator. It was geared towards coaches. It was coaches and ADs have similar responsibilities, so um, not only was it applicable, but it gave me more of a broader understanding of burnout, and then also the three ways to measure burnout. So it kind of was like an introductory study for me, which was a good first start. So going through slide 5, a model of stress and burnout in male high school athletic directors. So this one is obviously going to be more specific towards ADs, and that's by Eklund, Kelly, and Martin in 1999. The purpose: to observe stress and burnout amongst high school athletic directors. Procedure, participants, and method. 294 male athletic directors were recruited for this study. They ranged from 22 to 65 years old. Again, the MBI was used, the Maslow Burnout Inventory. There was a demographic questionnaire, and then as I have in parentheses right there, also asked percentage of time spent in AD role. So within that questionnaire, they wanted to see how much time was spent in the AD role and outside of the AD role. Results: emotional fatigue, and then depersonalization and personal achievement. Um, Application to study. This one was more specific towards ADs, but there was a great relationship between the two. I think that was one of the things that I was shocked, was the relationship between um, the two articles thus far, and even going on to the third one, which we'll see, is there's a great correlation between measuring burnout, especially the idea of depersonalization. That's something that a lot of people struggle with within burnout. So going to the 6th slide, we have my third article: stress and burnout in female high school athletic directors. So this purpose, and that's by Betty, Candace, and Jeffrey in 1999. This purpose was to examine and compare burnout amongst female and male athletic directors. So we're focusing on female athletic directors, but to compare the two, to see whether if they struggle the same way, or if there's a difference, or there is a relationship there. Procedure, participants, and method. There were 52 female athletic directors who participated in this study. The average age was 44, and they worked in the field for average of 7 years. The MBI again was used, and coaching issues survey was used as instruments. There was a demographic questionnaire, also measured percentage of time in different roles. So in regards to my slide 5, that one measured how much time was spent in the AD role within the demographic questionnaire. And then slide 6, there was a difference because it wanted to measure how much time was spent in different roles, not just AD and outside of AD, but different roles. And then the results, going down the third bullet: half time spent performing AD duties coupled with teaching and coaching responsibilities. They have a sense of control and commitment. Females bring that. They have a sense of control and commitment. And then stress directly related to emotional exhaustion, which we saw in the previous slide. Again, personal accomplishment and depersonalization. Application to study. It gives me a broader focus of the athletic director. it's not as broad as my first article about coaching, but it gives me a good understanding of burnout. And then while I don't want to just focus on the male athletic director, I also do want to focus on females. So I'm able to compare the two, and then I'm able to compare the two and then use them both for the study. Okay, lastly, methodology. So the procedure that I used, let me pull this up here. Procedure. So initially, approval of the study from the superintendent and vice president from high schools in Southern California was obtained and documented. Approval to conduct this study was then obtained from schools' athletic programs and their athletic administrators. The participants were 20 high school athletic directors that were interviewed throughout Southern California. These administrators were informed via email of the study through Azusa Pacific University and were willing to participate. These ADs were given a brief introduction to the study along with forms of consent. The consent included the purpose of the study, how long the interview should last, and the athletic director's right to confidentiality and anonymity. The athletic director would have a week to fill out the survey online through email. All information was conducted by Google survey. Okay, participants. There were 20 athletic directors that were involved in the study. I was given approval by Azusa Pacific University. All ADs were in Southern California. Okay. And then back on that slide, you got participants. You have the 20 ADs and then male, female. Both male, female range. I'm not going to just be explicit to males. I'm going to use both male and female. Between the ages of 30 and 55, I want to focus on that age range. And then the survey instrument, the Athletic Director's Guide and Survey, which my acronym is ADGS, was used for this procedure. The purpose of this interview guide was to generate an analysis from the participants, gaining information on the role of the athletic director, burnout, and coping mechanisms. There are 5 Likert scale statements seeking to answer each research question. This gives the total of 15 Likert scale questions for the interview. Moreover, there were 10 demographic items which asked the following. Okay, and then I have my questions. And then under survey instrument, it says qualitative methodology for my my PowerPoint, and it is actually I used a lot of qualitative research and data, but it actually is mixed. It's a mixed method because of the Likert, because of the inclusion of the Likert scale. So, and one of the quotes that I have here from the textbook that we use in class was, according to the practical research text that we used for the class, one of the advantages of using a qualitative method is that they can help you gain initial insight into what has previously been a little studied topic or phenomenon. And that's one of the things that I learned about burnout within athletic administration is it's almost like it's so robust and it's so big, but like a lot of the researchers have said that there's little that's been studied, and there's so much greater information that can be collected. So that's one of the good things. Further, it provides a means through which one can review the effectiveness of certain policies, practices, or new advances. However, because of the implication that I said earlier of the Likert scale used in this study, the mixed methodology will be used. And that's all I have for you guys. Those are my 7 slides. I hope you guys enjoyed this PowerPoint, and I look forward to seeing what you guys have for me. All right, enjoy the rest of your guys' weekend, and let's keep working and finish strong. All right.